All right, welcome back. It is 2 weeks since the last time we've seen everybody. Thank you for joining us. It is
Hello.
definitely fall here. Hillary had another quick trip to Nebraska, and she just returned from. How was that?
It was good. I've got to say that the weather here is unbelievable right now. And so it's been really nice. I mean, today kind of felt like summer. It's like chilly in the morning, but we were doing yard work in the afternoon, and fall here is the best. So I think it's supposed to get cold like next week. So this might be our last little bit of warmth, but it sure does feel good.
Yeah, I was up today filming some video stuff for next week, and it's like we're getting into that 2 weeks about. It seems like where the colors are at their peak, and
Yeah.
just can't get enough footage. I try and take pictures and video, and it is the best time of year, like you said.
It's so pretty. We took our dog for a walk today, and I took a picture of like every tree in our neighborhood.
Yeah, when you go up to the mountain now up higher, I don't know what they're called, but those low bushes that are kind of all over, they're bright red right now.
Yeah,
And so against the yellow and the green pine trees, it's pretty awesome.
it really is the best.
So for those of you wondering about what we're here to talk about today, because Hillary was gone and I've been working on videos all day, we don't have a ton of stuff to talk about up front. So please ask your questions now so we can get at them. Let's see, the video I did last week was which one was it? I can't even remember. Seems like they pile up. Oh, cheap land in Montana. I did get quite a few questions about that over YouTube, and people just asking about the prices and where they're the cheapest and all of that. And I kind of in that video just pulled up all of the land listings around Montana, and then just sorted it from cheapest to highest. And I was kind of surprised you can actually buy a lot for $6,500 right now. So if you're interested in moving over to eastern Montana, Hillary, you could do that.
Oh, good to know. I think it's so interesting. That's one of the most like common questions we get. It seems like whenever somebody comes into the office, that's what they want to know. Like how much for a lot? How much per acre? And so I don't know. I feel like that video is helpful because there's just not an answer, and I feel like that's the question that everybody wants an answer to. It's like there are a lot of variables.
Yeah. It was funny when I was researching to do that video, there's really, in our little immediate area here, there's not a whole lot of cheap property.
No.
You kind of had to go over towards Great Falls, and um, there's a little mountain range over there that I've never been to. That one of those towns, I think is called Nyhart, is in
Mm.
the Little Belt Mountains, and it looks pretty cool. And it's like this little circle, like on the map, it's a circle, and it's just these mountains that are out in the middle of, the prairie. So that was kind of interesting. I've never been over there. I don't know if you have been to that part of eastern Montana, but
I don't think
there's
I
still
have.
some cheap land over there. And then the other thing we can tell everybody, so last week we were kind of brainstorming on videos, and Hillary came up with a good idea that we're going to do on Tuesdays. So why don't you let people know what that is?
So this was the best idea I've ever had. Um, there are actually several ghost towns in Montana. We've got a lot of them, but there's one in particular that is not that far and looks really cool. It is in Gardner. And so we're going to go and give you guys like a tour of that and walk around and try to find some ghosts before Halloween. And I can't wait because I've been wanting to do it anyway. And so it's going to be really fun. So that is what we're doing early this week, which is actually perfect because it'll be before it gets freezing. So the stars are just really aligning for me on this one.
Yeah, there you go. It looks like we have a couple questions. Hello to everybody out there that's saying hi.
Hello,
We have
hello.
someone from Vegas, someone from Arizona. How's it? Is it still pretty warm down in Arizona, Mindy?
I would guess so. But I've got the first question pulled up. How are October closings lining up compared to the past couple of years?
It is definitely slowing down. These interest rates are definitely changing things, and there's still a lot of demand here, but it's kind of hurting the people that have been waiting around, the locals or the first time home buyers that have been saving up and waiting for the market to change. Well, now with the interest rates being where they're at, they kind of cut everybody's buying power in half. So the people that were going to buy a $400,000 house or were qualified to are now, down in the 200s for the same house payment. So that's definitely slowing things down. But yeah, we're still, if things are priced right, they're still selling. So it's not a huge drop, but it's definitely slower in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I'm about to go through the just statistics from last month, and I kind of touch on them every month. I know that statistics are like, it's not that exciting to look at numbers and it doesn't always mean anything. But it has been interesting just because the past few years it's just been like so crazy. And I know for 2 months ago, we noticed that there were less new listings coming on, but we still had way more inventory than we've had in a really long time on the market because things are sitting for so much longer. So it'll be interesting to see what this last month's numbers looked like. So I don't know. I'm going through that stuff and we can kind of touch on it in a non-boring way for the next video. But this is a good question. When you live out of town, where it's not so popular, what do people do with their trash? And this is something that just recently came up. We just sold a lot, or we're in the process of selling a lot out in Eureka. And I had just not thought about this because I'm so used to just getting my trash picked up. But people will get rid of their own trash. So you just kind of save it up for a week, and then they have, areas where you can go and dump it yourself. I think you can, in most situations, you can call and pay for a service yourself to have somebody come and collect your trash. But I'm not sure how much more expensive that is. And it's not something that is just like an obvious given. So I think a lot of people will just keep it and then drive it, in their truck or car or whatever when they're on their way into town for something, and they'll drop it that way.
Yeah, they have remote kind of these areas that are all fenced off with a bunch of dumpsters. Like when you head towards Libby, there's a couple and that are way out, just to service the people that live way out. And then as you go up towards Eureka, there's one that's actually there's a couple of them that I can think of that are in between here and Eureka. But yeah, the people that live out of town, that's what they do.
That is what they do. You guys, I'm really happy that everybody thinks my ghost town idea is fun and smart. Because I'm going to have to agree with you.
That's what I learned in that meeting. Everybody needs to know is that Hillary enjoys the pats on the back. So if she does anything good, please let her know because it really fires her up. And if she does stuff that's bad, don't say anything. That would not be good.
Yeah, I really only like to hear praise. Not really interested in constructive criticism. I'm kidding. How is the weather? It is really pretty right now. It's going to start to get cold here next weekend. So I think this is our last little stretch, but it is I don't know what the temperature is.
Let me give you the live report. Right
Hilda in
now,
southern Arizona said it's 69. I feel like it's 69 here.
it's 65 here right now.
Yeah.
But what Hillary is saying is, yes, a week from, next Saturday, actually, it's looking like it's getting better. It's changing a little bit. But next Saturday, it's supposed to rain with a high of 47 and a low of 26. And then, after that, it's all rain. The winter cloud moves in, and it looks like highs in the low 40s and lows in the 20s. So that's what's coming. But that's pretty normal for this time of year. But yeah, right now it's 65 and sunny, so it's beautiful.
Like so pretty.
My palm trees are liking it in the afternoon.
Oh my God. How often do you see or hear of property being sold before or without being listed?
It doesn't happen as much now as it used to. But yeah, that happened.
It
You
happens.
know,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, it's not. I feel like something that's super common anymore, but I mean, it does happen if the right situation works out. But
You know, in the last couple of years, you'd be crazy not to put it on the open market because more than likely are going to get multiple offers. So people weren't, I guess it was pretty rare to do that. I mean, some people did it. They didn't want their neighbors to know or whatever that they were selling, but I guess it's not all that common. But yeah, the last couple of years, if you didn't put it out in the open market, you're kind of probably leaving some money on the table.
can you explain what a cistern system is compared to a well or just normal city water?
Cistern is where you can either catch the water or haul the water in. People will catch rainwater or whatever. A well is actually a hole in the ground where you pump the water out of the ground, and then city water, obviously, you're hooking up to that. I don't know what more you're asking, but those are the differences. I hope that answers your question.
There you go. Hello, Mark. He said, hello, Will and Hillary. Can't wait to drag Will around in a few weeks to see a few overpriced properties.
All right, looking forward to that, Mark.
Counting the days.
Hopefully you'll be pleasantly surprised with some of the prices that are coming down. So we look forward to that as well.
That's true. Oh, Minty says it's about Arizona, not Montana, but not that warm. We're in the 70s, so it's chilly in the mornings and warming up during the day. And I scheduled or planned a vacation last year, actually 2 years ago. But we went to Tucson because we had never been before. And I was thinking, like, Arizona, it's going to be warm. We can just be in the sun for a little bit and get away from the cold. And I didn't realize that Tucson is a little bit chillier. So I did not get the tan that I was hoping to get. I've been watching Boise Market too, and it's getting smashed. I've been seeing places in Montana that were listed in August that are 30% less today. Are you seeing this stuff too?
The people, and we've talked about this the last couple of weeks, a lot of people, I don't know if they just wanted to use their house for the summer and then sell it before winter or what they were thinking, but a lot of sellers were still thinking that it was a year ago or last spring, and they were pricing houses super high, and then they're not selling now just because of the interest rate thing and because buyers are finally pushing back. So yeah, I'm sure you did see some houses that dropped 30%. But we're still, there's still demand up here. Like I said earlier, there's, if something's priced right, you'll still get multiple offers on it, or it will sell fairly quickly. We're seeing that. So the ones that are the huge price drops, they are the ones that started out way too high to begin with.
Wanting to win the lottery.
Yep.
I'm going to skip ahead because this made me laugh. Hillary's echoes back, or is that a haunting ghost? I wish it was a ghost.
Did you get your new speaker yet, or
I have not
microphone yet?
gotten it. But you guys, some of you have sent me very helpful emails explaining what I need to do to fix my situation, and I appreciate it, and I am working on it. I promise you. We just finally got our desk delivered, so we're getting stuff up. By the next live, I will have a microphone. I've ordered it. I've got stuff for the walls to help, so I am on it. Everything's just taking a long time to get here, but it's not a ghost. I wish it was, but it's just my dumb.
There is
brain.
actually a ghost in Hillary's house, by the way, for those of you.
Well, yeah, when we bought this house, the previous owner told me that there was a ghost in it. But she got rid of her, I think. But I don't know. I always really wanted to meet that little girl. I have not seen her. As big as a lake as Flathead is, why isn't there a legitimately sized boat ramp or parking for day use?
That is a very good question. The one in Summers is there's I mean, I know what you're saying. It's not huge, but that's probably the biggest parking area that I know of around Flathead Lake. Yeah, because the one down in Big Fork, or over in Big Fork, I should say, at the campground isn't very big. Polson, I'm not that familiar with the boat ramp situation, but yeah, you're right. I don't know. That's a very good question. And now with the price of land, I doubt if someone's going to use it to build a big boat ramp. So I wish I knew more. We'd have to call or contact the state on that one.
Hello, Sean. He says, good afternoon. Finally caught you guys live. I'm an EMT in California, but going to medic school soon. I will be a first-time homebuyer in the next year. Are there any first responder programs?
There is. Yes. If you want to email us, we can send you all the information. I don't have it handy because I haven't done one of those in a while. But yes, my wife and I have done a few of those in the past. And they're great deals. So yeah, reach out. We'd be happy to help you and help you get or utilize that program because it's a great deal.
How much rain do we usually get in a year? I don't know. It all comes in June, and that's when my wedding is, so that's a little bit concerning. But this year we got way more than we usually do. But we have pretty rainy springs. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know how much.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up too, but that is correct.
An accurate picture.
What is the next one?
Paranormal. Do you think my ghost increased or decreased the value? I was not told ahead of time, so.
That is one of the interesting things about Montana law, and I have argued this forever. So in Montana, the rule is if I were to list your house and you knew there was a death in the house, we do not have to disclose that unless it was caused by the house. Like if someone fell off a balcony or the railing broke and they fell, or something broke and they fell, or I don't know how else the house would cause a death. But if somebody gets shot or just dies in their sleep, whatever, you don't have to disclose that. And my argument is, especially if it's like a crime situation, which funny enough, I sold a house a few years ago where that was the situation. There had been a killing in the house, And I didn't find out about it until, a couple days before closing. I was representing the buyer. And when I found out about it, I called the other agent and I kind of raised hell with her. And she's like, well, Will, you know that we don't have to disclose that. Well, okay, that's fine. But, uh, the lady I was representing didn't really appreciate finding that out at the last minute. And my point is you have to disclose anything that's a material or adverse. What's the term? I just went blank. Adverse material defect, or adverse. It affects the price, and for a lot of people that would affect the price. Me personally, I wouldn't want to live there if I knew what had happened in there. But in Montana, you don't have to disclose that. So all I know is I'd be pretty mad if I bought a house and then 2 weeks later, my neighbor came up and said, oh, do you know what happened over there? And no one told me. So that's
Well, I
just
was
my
pretty
argument.
mad that I bought a house and then I found out that they had gotten rid of the nice ghost that lived here.
Well,
When making a deal, how much price leverage can an all-cash buyer expect these days?
I would say there's still that's always cash is king, as they say. And the reason it's such a good offer is because there's no appraisal contingency. There's no, financing contingency. All the cash is there. So if you're up against someone financing, it's a better offer. So yeah, you can offer a little less. It always is going to depend on the seller and the situation they're in, but most sellers are, usually pretty happy with a cash offer. So you definitely still have some leverage. I don't know if I can put a percentage on it. It's going to be kind of a case by case basis, but yeah, it's definitely the way to do it if you can do it.
So this is about a specific property, but Dave said if a property is off 93 between the highway and the railroad tracks, is that a noisy area and a clue to why it's been on the market for a longer time?
Dave, I would have to look that up. Why don't you go on to the next question? We'll come back to that. Let me pull that number.
Okay. Finally moving to Montana this summer. Yay, that's so exciting. It is the best. In Arizona, the law for ghosts and spirits are very similar. Really like how this is very centered on
Turning into the Halloween episode.
And yeah, maybe go talk to neighbors before you buy. What else, guys?
Tell everybody a story, Hillary. I'm on the other page.
RC, I signed up for the portal. Thanks to your help. Where can I go on site? Just to look for lots. Send us an email and I can send you back an email to explain, like, I'll take screenshots of my screen and send that to you to show you how to do it. There, you specifically, there's a choice that you have where you can look for either residential properties or land listings only. So if you just want to send me an email, just that's easy because then I can just respond to that and I will point out how you do that. But there is a way.
Okay, I am back. Let's go back to Dave's question. So
Okay.
Dave, luckily this was an easy answer. In the private comments on that listing, it says that the people have to negotiate a lease back until March of next year. So that's probably why it has not sold, because if you want to get in it right away, it doesn't sound like they can do that. As far as the railroad tracks, yeah, the trains go by there. I live in town, but we live only a couple blocks from the rail yard. And you can hear the train, but you just kind of get used to it. This is a train town. So I don't know that exact house, how bad it would be. But yeah, there's definitely trains going by. But I think the reason it's still on the market is because of the situation with the sellers.
Yes, that makes sense. It seems like, okay, Sean, I'll send an email then. Thank you. What % down payment should be a first-time home buyer's goal? My wife and I are very motivated to move to Montana in the next few years.
You know what, Sean? When you email, I will send you the contact information for Natalie, the lender that we always use or recommend. Or you can talk to a local lender if you have one. But there's many different types of loans that require different down payments. So you can do some as low as 3%, or up to 20% if you do a conventional loan. So that's something that a lender will help you with and see what you guys qualify for as far as a first-time home buyer.
Natalie's great.
Yes. What do we have next?
Sacker dude, how do I talk my wife into Montana?
That's a question for Hillary, being from the female species.
Has she been here? Because all it took for me is one visit. I mean, maybe that's a little too easy, but it's the best. Has she been here? If she comes, how she will want to move here, I think.
Yeah, Hillary just came here to visit and came into our office and met us, and she's like, I have to be near these people. They're so cool.
I need to spend hours in a car with this man every day of my life. Fun fact for us, railroads have a decibel standard per linear foot of distance. Noise is speed-based.
All right, Chris, that is a good stat.
Jody, just to make sure I understand correctly, email you for all listings. What's the email? I will put our email up on the screen. And then if you want to look at listings, what we'll do is send you a link to our MLS, which is where all of the listings are. So if you're looking, that's just kind of the best place to look. It's updated in real time. Everything's on there. It's always up to date. So if that's what you're looking for, email us and we'll get you set up with the link to that. You just spent 2 weeks here and she doesn't want to move here? I don't know what else to tell you.
What didn't she like? What do you got to sell her on?
Yeah. Which part of the state has the best fishing and which part of the state gets the least amount of snow?
Are you going to answer the fishing part?
Well, I don't know. Isn't the Bitterroot area like known for fishing?
Yeah, it kind of depends on what type of fishing you like. If you like to do fly fishing, the Bitterroot Valley is pretty good for that. So is southeastern Montana down near Bozeman and Big Sky, and even further east near the Custer battlefield. The Big Horn River, I believe. But like Flathead Lake has, huge lake trout in it. So it depends on what kind of fishing you like to do. And
I was going to say all of the lakes here you will be horrified to see the photos of the fish that come out of these lakes. It's very disturbing. They're large.
And then which part of the state gets least amount of snow? That would be the Troy area, and over on the far western side along the Thompson Falls over in there. It's probably the lowest part of Montana, and it stays a lot warmer there, and they get the least amount of snow.
There you go. Am I allowed to ask, how are Montana schools? Son has autism. Any particular area that is better than the other? I do not have kids, so I'm not super familiar with the schools, but we get questions about the schools here a lot. I've got and Will had a kid go through the school system, so he can be more helpful, but I've heard only good things about the schools in Whitefish and in Kalispell.
As far as the autism thing, I don't know. You'd have to check into that. I'm sorry, I don't have any information on that. I know people have asked that before, and I don't know. Yeah, you'd have to Google that as far as what is offered for that. I wish I knew more. Sorry.
But overall,
Yeah, overall the schools. Yeah, our daughter, I think she turned out all right. Hillary.
Yeah, she's the best. Joseph, how does a lender know where to set the interest rate on your loan?
That depends on your credit. So if you want a better interest rate, you need to work on your credit. If you have really good credit, you'll get the best rate. So yeah, it's always good to have good credit, and that's where it really comes into play is when you go ask for a loan. There you go.
There you go. Hello, Maria. She totally believes our story.
We will be seeing Maria on Tuesday.
Woohoo!
We're going past, and I'll give you everyone a sneak preview. We're doing a video on log homes, and Maria was nice enough to allow us to come out, and they've done a whole bunch of work since I sold them that house last year. So it's awesome. I'm excited to go out and see it. I've seen pictures, but haven't been out there since they're done. But yeah, it'll be a good time. And
I'm excited.
Yeah, I didn't ask Maria if you were allowed to come, but hopefully she'll be okay with that.
Oh God, I'll wait in the car. What's your guess on the percentage of new buyers leaving Montana after not realizing what a true winter is?
Boy, I would love to know that percentage. We have not had a real hard winter in the last few winters, so it's probably fairly low right now. But yeah, I would love to know that. Hillary and I kind of argue about that. The people that leave, I do think a lot of them it's because of the winter. But yeah, that would be good to know. But I don't even want to venture a guess because it would probably be way off.
And that leads us nicely into this. Stacker Dude's wife is afraid of the winter. Gosh, it is just really not that bad. I don't get it.
Compared to the Midwest, it's nothing. You can tell her that if that helps. I don't know where you guys are. If you're coming from, the tropical southern part of the U.S., then
I was going to say, you have to remind me where you are, because if you're like somewhere really warm, then okay. But if you get snow where you are, then I promise you this is not bad.
No.
What are your thoughts on the big corporations' attempt on turning Serene Holland Lake into a tourist attraction resort?
My thoughts are pretty poor. I don't like it. A lot of people don't like it. In fact, they had, I think there's like 7,000 comments now that have been left with the Forest Service. They've shut it down. The comment period is over, but I would venture to say that, looking through all the comments, that 99% of them were against it. So, I don't know if you've been there, but Holland Lake is awesome. And they should not do what they're planning on doing. That's my 2 cents.
There you go. Maria will allow me into her home, so thank you, Maria. I'm excited to meet you. How do tax rates in Montana compare to other parts of the country?
We are, what did I see? 14th. I think we're kind of not in the middle. We're on the better side of middle. So they're not bad. There's states that are less than us. But there's a lot of states that are way above us. So it just, and because we don't have a sales tax, that kind of, I don't know if it makes it a wash, or it, how much it improves it. But yeah, if you're going to buy a car, it sure is nice not paying sales tax on that. So.
Oh, Will, you're going to love this. Jared said you got a great laugh from your post-game interview press conference.
Yeah, we're not doing I was told they're not doing a press conference today, so apparently I did such a good job last week or after the last one that we don't need to do another one. I answered everyone's question. Well,
man.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be more that we'll put up,
When I watched that, I mean, I think like the first 3 questions were just like him making fun of me. So I was happy to see that later on he moved on to some new content.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was just answering their questions. I wasn't making fun of you.
Right, the media. This is a good question. If a big resort goes in by your house, will your home value increase?
Maria. Yeah, you look at the prices up at the ski resort here have gone through the roof. I know what you're getting at. I don't think you're going to have to worry about that. Just my 2 cents.
How do the winters compare to Wyoming? Thinking of going to law school, I convinced my dad to move up there.
The winters here are much more mild compared to Wyoming. On this side of the state, if you get over to the east side of the state, it's pretty similar. But the western side in the mountains, it's pretty mild. We get a lot of snow, but as far as temperatures and the bitter, bitter cold, we don't get that.
Stagger dude, I'm on several Montana Facebook pages, and boy, they sure hate on non-natives. Yet everyone we met in Montana was super cool. Is it real hate or fake hate? It's fake hate. I always want to tell people that people seem so mean on the internet, and it's just like where they all congregate to like complain about it. But no, everybody's nice. Most people here have not, like lived their entire life here. Most of the people who are writing the mean things are not native Montanans. So it just is what it is. We've been discovered. It's getting busier. It's like, something that people like to complain about. But I never felt like uncomfortable or unwelcome or whatever when I moved here. I don't know.
As I'm sure it's pretty easy to sit in your mom's basement and be anonymous and rip on people, and that's what a lot of that is, just with everything. I mean, it's not,
Yeah, I think they just like get themselves going, and then I don't know. But no, I'm glad that you had a good experience in real life, because people like are really scared about that, and I would be too, but it's fine. What portion of Montana has the best price in real estate right now?
The east side, like it always has.
The east side.
Yeah, the east side of the state is not, everybody wants to live in the mountains, so our prices have gone up over here. But if you just want to be in Montana, you can still buy some decently priced property over on the eastern side. And you don't even have to go that far east. It's not like you're bordering North Dakota. But yeah, we're a pretty big state, and there's a lot of land out there on the east side that is still pretty cheap.
The best line in a recent video was, "So flat you can watch your dog run away for 3 days."
See, Hillary, we need to have a little chat with everyone.
No, we
Hillary
don't.
does not appreciate my jokes, but I'm
You
glad
guys,
that you guys.
I do, but you don't understand. that he repeats them. So I've heard that line so many times, and I probably did chuckle the first time, but it just, all good things must come to an end. I think people in Montana are not as friendly as people in SoCal.
Could be.
I don't know. I may have missed this, but what do the Wi-Fi speeds and coverage look like in town, and how far out of town till a significant drop in speed? We've got, good, normal, fast Wi-Fi in town. And then even when you go far out, they've got fiber, and a lot of people have, what's it called? Elon Musk. Starlink. So yeah, I think that it's getting a lot easier to have good Wi-Fi kind of wherever you are. And a lot of the places that are smaller and farther out of town are set up with fiber, which is hilarious. So if that is something that you absolutely need, you can definitely find it. Maria said, there are tons of new peeps where I live and have slid right into the community. Exactly. Graduated from Billings West High and love and miss Montana. Great people, great memories, and beautiful state. Come back. In California, you need permits to build anything and everything, and they require solar panels by law. In Montana, how are building permits and laws? I want a massive fireplace. I'll let Will answer this because I know he has a couple good lines that he'll throw in.
I do. You'll have to remind me. I can't think of any good lines.
We'll just say Joe Home Depot.
Oh, there you go. See, all right. Yeah, the laws here are not. California is like a league of its own when it comes to laws and regulations. We're nothing like that. As far as building permits and laws or for building, they're very slim, which is good and bad. All laws in general, we don't have many, which again is good and bad. So yeah, I think when you get up here, you will laugh at the difference that what you're used to down there, because it's night and day. Again, I think California, I would be shocked, maybe New York, if there's a state that has more laws and regulations than California, it would be shocking to me. So that's my answer without using Joe Home Depot.
Is lakefront or riverfront property, are the taxes higher?
Yes, the taxes are based on, they're based on the improvement of the land. So if it's bare land, they're very, very cheap. But once you put a house on it, then they come out and basically do an appraisal. And if it's on water, obviously it's worth more than the houses that aren't on water. So yeah, they are definitely higher.
Can you carry a gun without a license in Montana?
Not concealed. But if you're just going hunting or whatever, yeah, you can carry a gun around. But concealed weapons are different. You have to get a permit for that.
Do you know if Many Lakes has high-speed internet?
Oh, Dave, it's been a while since I sold a house in there. I think they do. I think they have Spectrum out there, but I'm not positive. I can check into that and get back to you if you want to send us an email. I will check into that for you.
I feel like they do.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they didn't, but I don't want to say yes for sure. But yeah.
Smart. Oh, Hilda. Is Mexican food popular in Montana? No, we don't have any Mexican food here, and that's one thing. that I don't love about Montana. That's like always the first thing. If we ever go out of town, it's like, get me to a Mexican restaurant immediately. We've got a few. It's not super popular. We don't have a ton of them. No, at least not where we are.
Well, what I've learned in my old age is that it's not just Montana. What I've noticed is that the closer you get to the Canadian border, the worse the Mexican food gets. So that's part of the problem. And people, because we don't have a lot of it here, I know a lot of people that don't like any spice. Well, then you got to have spicy Mexican food, right? So I know that there's some places that have come in that they were the real deal, and a lot of people didn't like it because they couldn't hang with the spiciness. But hopefully we'll get some good restaurants here soon for Mexican.
The hard part is finding contractors who are free to work. This is still true. The market is slowing down, but builders are still really backed up from when it was crazy. We've been working with a few different people who have been looking for builders. And I know that they've all been still very busy. So keep that in mind. Like 2 years out, busy. How busy is the stretch of Highway 2 between East and West Glacier during the summer? And are there any good campgrounds throughout that stretch?
Yeah, I mean, that's the main highway that people use to come over here from the east side of the state. So yeah, it gets fairly busy. I wouldn't, I don't know what you're comparing it to, but you definitely get a lot of campers and tourists coming through there because that's, again, if you're not in the park, that's the main route to get from one side to the other. As far as campgrounds over there, because I don't know of many campgrounds just because it's right along it's kind of in a canyon a lot of the way along the river. So you go over there hiking?
Yeah, but I have not camped. I don't know. I don't know of any off the top of my head. Surely there are, but I don't know. Sorry. Stacker Dude thinks something you said was funny. Who knows what that was? How were Whitefish and Kalispell affected by the floods from a couple of months ago? We really did not get anything too bad. I mean, it was wet, and I remember driving with you, Will, like just between Whitefish and Columbia Falls, and you would see like sitting water sitting out in fields. But no like major devastation, I would say.
No, that was, on the news, they were showing all the stuff down by Yellowstone, but
yeah, I mean, it was even bad though. Like the river got super high. Like
it was just the very low-lying areas
yeah.
that the very low-lying areas kind of flooded a little bit, but it was nothing like the Yellowstone area. We didn't have any major damage, and so yeah, it was just the low-lying areas that got some water, but nothing major.
Maria gave us a pro tip. That's good to know. That's really good to know. And I'm with you. She said that's what they miss the most coming from Tucson. I feel like I get that question all the time. Like, well, what do you miss? Like, because all I ever talk about is how I love it here. And I'm like, I don't know. I do say food, I think, sometimes, just like the options. But Mexican is a really good answer.
Yeah, it's because Omaha is known as a hotbed for Mexican food.
All right, they do have a really good Mexican food. It does not matter what time our plane lands or anything. There's a 24-hour. It's called Abelardo's.
She goes to Taco John's.
Whatever. I do like Taco John's, so
It looks like we're running out of questions here. You're lucking out.
Would you say Montana drivers are good drivers? This is funny because we just had this conversation, I think. I drove to the grocery store with my fiance tonight, and he was talking about how he actually does think that the drivers in Montana are much better than the drivers in Omaha. So, I don't know.
Yeah, look at Dave. See, Dave's right on top of it.
Wait. That's so
yeah,
annoying.
Omaha is just. I mean, all of those Food Network shows. I mean, they're probably all based in Omaha because of the.
I'm not talking about Omaha, you guys. I've been to other places. Oh. Dave, you cannot move here.
I'll take you out to a Mexican place, Dave.
Yeah, you guys will just gang up on me.
All right, we're at the bottom. If anybody, this is the last call. We're almost at an hour and we're out of questions.
Emotionally exhausted, which is a great name, says that they're better than the Alberta drivers. So there you go. I don't know. Isn't it just relative? I mean, I don't think that we have especially good or bad drivers.
Yeah, I think whenever you're in a big city, whether it's Calgary, if you're talking about that in Alberta, or Edmonton, or yeah, there's just more people and the driving seems to get worse. So
we do have another real estate related question. When looking for a home, are all of the real estate agents advising prospective buyers about the big hailstorm and roof damage that sellers may not have addressed?
yeah, I know down in Big Fork, there were some homes that did get damaged by the hail. But that is why you need to have a good home inspector to check everything out if you're going to buy something, and call that out before you finish the deal. So
other than the resort project you mentioned, are there any large corporate projects that you know of planned for Whitefish or Kalispell in the near future? No, I mean, we've got, go on.
No, go ahead. I was thinking out loud.
Well, I was just going to say, I feel like that's the kind of thing we hear, like, you know, rumblings about it, and everybody says there's no way that'll happen, and then it doesn't happen. So I don't know of anything right now. At this point, I'm hearing more talk about just new, like, apartments and condos and like housing developments for people who live here, more so than like resort type, that kind of project. So I don't know. We shall see. We're also hearing stuff that's been planned and then is getting canceled because builders are still backed up and prices are still high. So yeah.
We will keep you posted on that. And
we will indeed.
Hacker Dude, thanks for watching. All you guys, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
It's hockey night tonight, so I'm excited to go play hockey a little later.
Oh.
Except we have the late game. Not good. 10:45. So.
All right. One more question, Jerry. Are there many gated communities with amenities and social opportunities in Whitefish and Kalispell?
More Whitefish. Can you think of any gated?
Not in Kalispell.
Yeah, Whitefish has a few. And there's some communities that are not gated that have clubhouses and like the lakes and here in Whitefish. So Yeah, and I know there's some places down in Kalispell as well that have clubhouses, but they're not gated. So I don't know if a gate is important to you, but they have a little of both in each place. So, all right. Well, we are going to wrap it up. Thanks again for everyone joining us, and we will see you in a couple weeks. And hopefully, you will be looking at a brand new background for Hillary, and she will sound good.
I'll have a
She's actually
microphone.
having her mom fly out special just to decorate that room. So, not to put any pressure on her mom, but in 2 weeks, it's all going to be riding on your mom.
Your minds are going to be blown. You're going to hear me so clearly.
All right. See everybody later.
Bye.